Growing up, I learned early that respect in my house was conditional. My parents acted like love had to be earned with grades or college acceptance letters, not effort or integrity. They both had degrees and made it clear. College was the only way to be successful. Anything else was failure. And they reminded me of that every chance they got. I wasn't a bad student, I just didn't care much about school. I liked building things, fixing stuff. Math clicked when it was about measurements or blueprints, not exams. By junior year, I already knew college wasn't for me. I wanted to work with my hands. Construction, carpentry, welding it made sense to me in a way school never did. When I told my parents, they laughed. Not a chuckle, a full laugh like I had told a joke. You want to dig ditches? That's your big dream? My mom looked disgusted. My dad didn't say much at first. He just shook his head. Then he said, you'll be broke before you're 30. Hope you enjoy back pain and beer bellies with your crew. They made it sound like choosing a trade meant I was giving up on life. They said I was wasting my potential. But all I felt was relief. I had made my choice. I started working part-time during my senior year. A neighbor ran a small construction business and let me help after school. I loved it. Every day was different, real. My hands were always covered in dirt or cuts, but I felt more alive than I ever did in a classroom. I came home tired, sore, but proud. My parents didn't see that. Instead, they acted like I was throwing my life away. They'd make jokes at dinner. Hope the ditch digging went well. Try not to get fired before your next shift. After graduation, they stopped pretending to support me. They cut me off financially, said if I wasn't going to college, I was on my own. No savings, no help. So I moved out. I stayed in a friend's garage at first. I picked up every job I could, framing, roofing, hauling, long hours, crap pay. But I never stopped showing up. 3 years passed like that. While my friends were cramming for finals or partying in dorms, I was on job sites at 6 a.m. hauling lumber or pouring concrete in the cold. Eventually, I got certified in welding and project safety. Started subcontracting. I'd saved up enough for tools, a work truck, and slowly started building my own crew. By 24, I wasn't just working. I was running my own LLC. I had 3 guys under me, steady contracts, and a reputation for finishing jobs early and under budget. My parents still thought I was a loser. When I visited, they'd ask if I was still working construction, with fake smiles like I'd grow out of it one day. They'd brag about my sister's law degree to anyone who'd listen. I was just the dropout, the disappointment. They didn't ask questions. They didn't want answers. But everything changed the day my mom's coworker saw me at a job site. I was overseeing a home remodel in a high-end neighborhood. He mentioned it to her casually. She came home and asked, "You work for that company?" I said, "I own that company." Her face froze. I showed her my card. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. That night she told my dad. They didn't say anything for a while. Then he called and asked, "So you actually make money doing that?" The disbelief in his voice said everything. I didn't rub it in. I just said, "Yeah, more than both of you combined last year." Silence. Then he hung up. A week later, he asked if I could help fix their porch. I showed up with my crew and did the job right. I didn't charge them. I didn't gloat. But they saw how I ran things. The truck, the gear, the team listening when I spoke. It hit them harder than any argument could have. I didn't have to win them over. I just had to show them what they'd refused to see for years. I was never a failure. After we finished their porch, my dad said thanks like it hurt. My mom asked if I'd ever consider going back to school. I just smiled and said, why would I? They weren't ready to admit it, but they finally saw me differently, not as the dropout they mocked, but as someone who built something from nothing, on my own terms. Word got around the family fast. Suddenly, aunts and uncles who'd ignored me were asking about home upgrades. Cousins wanted to know how I made it without college. I didn't hold grudges. I just told them the truth. I worked. I learned. I showed up every day when no one believed in me. That's what built my life, not a degree. My sister called too. She said law school was harder than she thought. She had debt piling up and was still living at home. You're lucky, she said. I just shook my head. Luck? I asked. I was sleeping in a garage while you were picking dorm colors. I earned this. She didn't reply, but the silence told me she understood for once. A year later, I expanded to a second crew. Took on commercial work. My name was on trucks now clean. Bold letters across a matte black wrap. People started recognizing it. I hired 2 apprentices, both teenagers, who reminded me of myself. One of them told me his dad said trades were for failures. I just handed him a hammer and said, "Let's prove him wrong." When I bought my first house, I didn't tell my parents. I found out through a family friend. "You bought a house at 26?" my mom asked. "With cash?" I said. That's when it really hit them. Everything they mocked me for had turned into something slidrio. Not just work, but independence. Confidence. A whole life. They asked if I was happy. I said yes. I didn't need them to understand everything. I just needed them to stop looking down on the path I'd carved for myself. Now when they talk to me, their tone is different. There's hesitation, respect, maybe even guilt. I don't need an apology. I just need them to know I was never less. I still work with my hands, still get calluses, cuts, sunburns, but I wear them like armor. Every mark on my skin is proof I never gave up, even when they did. Sometimes I drive past the high school and see kids getting off the bus. I wonder how many of them feel like I did stuck between expectation and what actually feels right. If I could tell them one thing, it'd be this. You don't have to prove yourself to people who don't want to see you win. Just build. Quietly, consistently, they'll notice. My parents eventually invited me to a dinner party with their friends. I almost didn't go, but I did. And when someone asked what I did for a living, my dad answered for me. He runs his own construction company. Does really well. It was awkward, but I caught the pride in his voice. Late? Sure, but I'd take it. He was finally seeing me. Later that night, he pulled me aside and said I was wrong about everything. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I didn't cry, but I felt like I could have. That meant something. I don't need their validation. But it's nice to know that standing firm, choosing my own way, it wasn't just survival. It was growth. It was proof I knew myself better than they ever did. If you're out there doubting your path because someone told you it's not good, remember this. No one gets to define your success but you. No degree, no title, no parent. Keep building, even if it's slow. Even if no one claps for you yet, one day they will. And even if they don't, they'll be standing in something real, something you built with your own hands.